Guys, wait 1 second. Okay. Welcome back to YouTube Live. Also 1 second, 2 minutes la. Then you call that Nyama. Give me a second, please. Oh. Let me set the place up nicely. 1 second. Light the bukan na banta, member interference ke panjang. Yo andong nyanta recording kelale for the WhatsApp massive. So I'll also what and then now. Give me a minute. Again, introducing this program today, I will be discussing the APRC Babili Mansa last. I'll talk about Gambia first. Please share the video, share the video, share the video. Let everybody know that I'm live today. And I'm going to be talking about the Gambia. And I will be presenting this program again in our beautiful Gambian languages. Unfortunately, if you can't speak them, I sympathize with you. I know a lot of people who follow me on YouTube are not Gambians. But I believe what we're talking about should go all the way down to the ordinary Gambian people on the ground. So thank you very much for tuning in. Share the video, share it on WhatsApp everywhere so that people can join in. We are on a path to nation building. We have to rescue the Gambia and we have to do it together. So although I've not had any rest, I just arrived from work, didn't change properly, but I'm good. I think I should last another hour or so. So therefore, if you're not able to speak Jola or Mandinka or Wolof or Pular, Fulani, you may not benefit from this program a lot, but if you want to stay aside, if you want to stay tuned, I might deliver some of it in English so that it's clear to everybody what I'm presenting today. So give me a minute, let people join in. People are joining in. Thank you for joining in. Thank you very much for some of you who are already here. I appreciate you a lot, very much. Hopefully I'll be able to remember to share this, to record this for Voice of Lamin Tamba 1 and Voice of Lamin Tamba 2 WhatsApp channels. So give us a second, let people join in and we can start. I'm gonna give it 3 to 4 more minutes and people can join us along the way if they're not already here. Thank you. Hello guys. Hello Jenaba, lots of love back at you. Thank you, Jenaba Koli. Glad you tuned in. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's start. Assalamu alaikum. Badin Gambia nolo. Assalamu alaikum. The safu saf kupalong Gambia nak maglana nuyu suma mbokki Gambian si. Programme bi ni du nekk programme APRC rek programme bi dañ ko présent pour ñëpp ñu nekk si politique Gambia ñu nekk di administre Gambia si public administration Gambia pour ñëpp dégg ko. Programme bi dafa am solo. The three topics yu ñu waxtaante mooy topic yi land issue dañu waxtaan problem land issue the problem with land allocations mbe banko kene kuwolo diamola bi aning land ownership Gambia bi mbe nyame Gambia banko kan so jat kasanke nak fankan kasanke nak keti fankaf kasanke nak keti silupes kan kambonya Gambia jat kasanke nak kila ku baba sembay fanfan ku kele fanfan so anyway before me proceed la moneketa Gambia bi monati na molbe kene ko diamo kan nyin kene ko manke ku kotate ku meri walam akete nun jang hani PPP tamo tonya na tonya fo idea alaye molla land government land akata nun janne andum wati do kabun dinde mani mbota fuñi ngata non bundune andum bundum mafangola mama benun damen is called bundum Mauritania eka command wala I think it's still called bundum Mauritania yo bundum Mauritania dung bundum police station o be wala to bundum police station o koma reserve land bale benun je government la reserve land PPP dambangoli la minister sol dambangoli lanta ya talantalangi dambangol tema that was in the early 1990s kabona 1991 kata 1994 ya dati kaw reserve land membe bundum police tema ka talantalangi dambangol tema I know OJ fango tala OJ alama nemanin kafar keraye alam moje ma bije men ka doko kaye ye korda soto ma fangola PPP la dila yo bare moje ma bije mele ala ko kenol be wol bul lenum kordal be wol bul lenum ya ta ye reserve land no membe bundum police station ko ma ya be talantala kani fing layout a nyong de la jama land allocation no keta damen ye lanta ya talanta la dambangol tema ya jele ñina tale ka cour record ali hakitu ñanga ñi record ban please give me a minute let me record this guys yeah just give me a second nga ñi record ngal dani because ni ma record rek na WhatsApp channel all akote dia gali hando mande okay so anyway nga context so set comme mu neketa Gambia kono government ye land sotole allocation of land State Lands Act luanying meye banko la kenota ka di mansala ka formule ko banko nyeng mansala tam nyeng bankoti mo manyan na banko tala ning mansa manyen kenota ka di mola that's for residential purposes for business purposes ni lafta ka keno nyen ta pour ka bungolo ye taraje wala ni la dimbaya ye taraje keno nyen ka di no la le bare ka apply le e kata mansa kondale to ye formal fill ni formal fill esena keno nyen dila ni keno dila eta ya register ye cool be men yanta kelaje yeta ya register at different government agencies so to promote salon ko keno nyen Lamin Tamba leta yo mansa kondala keno dum bi alnal badi malem be YouTube live Lamin Tambalem Voice of Lamin Tamba YouTube channel bare nyeng diamo ato fotala Voice of Lamin Tamba 1 Voice of Lamin Tamba 2 WhatsApp channel also yo so mbekacha menke can be walem fanna memboko sorry there's light still infiltrating hold on I think that's better isn't it yeah that's better yo so fanna memboko land allocation masakunda Gambia masakunda ka kenotano le ka di la doku lalla ka di moko ten na bimba be seniandla YouTube live Voice of Lamin Tamba channel also bimba be seniandla fo Adama Barrow be menna ka kenota ka di ala musulla anala barin keola no abarin keonta ega ko mandi nyaade. How do you call nephew again? Abarinding keo yo aka kenota ka dia barinding keol menna anim mo kotengol amad bay kenolta anim batembe du tema mola tourism development area mafango anin Gambia tourism board be mararing land menna anin itol ko President Jame bungol menta mol bulo IML sunya because ima foko President Jame kenol nyin sunya le wala kordal sunya le wala ketenne iko ay mansa kundala kudole sunya kataka kenol sang bara President Jame fango mansa kundala keno amatade no anila diamo be ima foko President Jame tata nyapita Chief Justice la bungoto yata wala President Jame tata Brikama Magistrate bungo bedame ngayata no ima ofo ibe même fo kan wolem President Jame damma kenol memba bulu afatata kemekeleng tan nane yewala fo ila kuma kongol to amo kilingol wolle funtita nan kanyo wa nyaari iko e ka men fonum President Jame ma abe mo fanialati laftale ka to ku ya drom ka to tinya dunia kono pour President Jame si jiya se bo man sayato e to la fo de e dambangol tema e to lanin kuma kongol funtita nan ka men fonum against President Jame itol damangol le fontita nan ke fang expose bare man la fikata auto bake bi me sama nan kachato bi Voice of Lamin Tamba channel YouTube wala Adama Barrow atata Chief Justice la taradula ntolla luwa bundato memma kuntiyote anyaton koti ka fo me ko Chief Justice man sakunda e bungola diala anyanta tara la damen wato menna be Chief Justice yala ala bungo nyimbe minto abe fajara mafangola Chief Justice nyanta tara la sabatiri wolto lungo menna ye ke Chief Justice ti fo lungo menna be bola Chief Justice yala wo bungo be sabati la waleto Adama Barrow fo Hamad Balembang fo Musa Dramelem dam so Musa Dramelem nung local government and lands minister ti Ahmad Banata remplacer local government and in lands Ahmad Banata la place ota bare kuol kete nyamen malla aketa Hamad Bala wato leto asikeno bara tariata le naketa be kala Hamad Bala wato te as local government and lands minister woto kuol be tariala bake man la keta Ahmad Bala tamola ngamira nyin keta Musa Dramela tamola la wala namira to but anyway it doesn't matter because men keta wala Chief Justice la korda Gambia man sekundale tamo kordati mo tante ati Chief Justice fango tante ati Gambia man sekundale tamata boko men ni keta man sakewti yatara State House ela bungonten man sakewla man sakewla be lalaje fo lungo men namba bonde la man sayato Vice President fana na kordabe fajara afana nyanta sabati la wala to fo lungo men namba bonde la Vice President yala all right yo so Chief Justice fana anyong bungola nyanta tala bulo abe tara dame fo lungo men ya bonde Chief Justice yala ñene ñanta kela nu ñene Adama Barrow la man sakunda ñene kela bara Adama Barrow la man sakunda e boneke itata e ñapita Gambia man sakunda la bagasola Gambia man sakunda la kordani keno itata wala taka chika kadi Adama Barrow la pour asa lo ayake akunkiling nafati afansun kenote afansun kordati fengo men manyan na kela mok is illegal amanyan na kela num to start with anin lan yang fango ni ba allocate la Adama Barrow bulu amanyan na dila nung Adama Barrow la hanna kita silo noma ika lan allocation o kenyamen Adama Barrow mang wanyanto soto ika fume ko criteria of obtaining land in allotments or layouts ni aje masakunda ka layout sol di ala doku lala because ngani karo kele ngakisi kele ngaluanyin karane ngajube Luanying me ya dada the spirit of the law, the spirit of the letter. Walem kamansa kunda dokula melia lonko ibulo me ko ben. Ete keno sanola. Mansa kunda se mako e pruitol finance keno soto no. Purni e keno soto ise wakili ka korda loje inila dimbaya yata e sabati je ye bo loi sela loi darata wala kama aning ka mansa kundala kenol ka tamandi anyama pour mol kana boy nyokan membe kering Gambia banko ko jang kan sang molle ka boy nyokan iko he na kabilo le tam janti kabilo me ko moma kabilo long doto na kabilo le tam taneneti yenayi nyapi tanenen kolkan yela kabro busibulu yela a chocho busibulu e kontra tam sanyang fanang ha antolla kabilo le tam janti yenayi nyapi mol bulu mol kan sanyang ka molla kenota ka busi kabilo itenene ma keno fango long abedame ika fo na kabilo le tam janti molbe sabatirin damen 20 years 30 years iko ela kabilo le tam jeti kataka dukoke sheriff's office aning dulal to ka kaytol dada kaytol mel yalon ko tonyati ye ka mol wudayndi molbe sabatirin damen 20 30 40 50 60 years ikata ki bondi je ko ela kabilo le tam jeti ya moyle aning a nyonne be kan jabang bi ni kad ya moyte nyamo all yundum constituency jabang kendin dole botanam dam kendin furim fula iko ela kabilo tam ela kabilo le tam mo kenoti korda keme konon tele be o berol to dulal to iko wol ye wuli ye wuda ye funti eta dulal to because ito la kabilo tam wo nyonyoroni wo nyokelobe kering bara adama baro la masakunda te fem ne kelaje because Adama Barrow la man sakunda buka fenne ke Gambia no la bata koto kolya koto itol dati je namanke ibe sunyaro men na kam man sakunda kenyota ka talanta langi dam kenol ta ka talanta langi dam bangol tema yo niaje State Lands Act pass jang ya pass muna kama is because landing e laftale mansa e dokulal mako e mansala dokulal melyalon ko e bulo me ko beng itol fanan se keno soto saf ha na masa kunda do ko anafa balal because afele nga keno soto sign mbatu nga wokele nga bir block killing laje nga bir killing laje nga bundingo loje pour nte fananin na dimbaya se tano ngam fan sotoraje se je commandino na kenoti na kordati State Lands Act ya dada wala kama aning kama sakunda la kenol ka control pour nakaro membe kering Adama Barrow koto bi anakaro kana soto bar Adama Barrow since 2018 yin tane ne ko datita jang adati je yin kunku jang ko datita jang adati je berende ni ngunjur ko datita jang adati je dulalto anin dulalto ngaje janne mol membe CRR ani URR ibe kele kan kene kulta e ka nyola ni so fa e ka nyola kunkulta ka tinya e ka nyofa kene kula hani bi Adama Barrow la masakunda mam femfenne doku nyin kota pour ka molla kene kul nyapin kan ya membe Gambia kono bi prase bang Adama Barrow man nyin keje bari nyim manya sifa tenkuntale nun jang since 1994 kana for 2017 January a tenkuntale buka manya sifaje nyim maka ngulita dula rek president jame la masakunda ko nun ne ko ku nyin ka bay tonya be dame tonya sabati tonya te dame ya bay ngina beke kannung under president jam so bi abedame nembota tanene ngabo berenen ngabo gunjur ngabo sanya ngabo jabang ngabo dulal dolto including all just one women's gardens former local government minister tata ka nyapi dulamento ka kuntuka di amonyola anala family members wala ni moko tengol ngako diamolen nun jang all just one women's garden e nyapita nun jela yeje kuntu ka di molla imal moma long ya di jumala la bare ko wol mo musa drama la mollet atelem nun former local government and lands minister amanke bi kuti de membe ke kam bi membe diamo kan Gambia bi mona sabu molba diamo kan bi wala sammanang YouTube live bi BLM the 6th of August 2024 be YouTube live. But the new audio be futala Voice of Lamin Tamba WhatsApp 1, Voice of Lamin Tamba 2, Volt 1, Volt 2. Bimbe live Voice of Lamin Tamba 1 YouTube channel. So Adama Barrow tata ka Chief Justice la kenota. Ka dia fangola, kunkiling nafa, ka fan nafa, alim mako nga fisia tolte. Walam Adama Barrow la mansa kondati from the beginning. Ano Barrow natale rek within 4-5 months aya dati kala bumbalo manka mankonda amanda woto atata ka bumba do lo koten manka mankonda bi nka diamale nyame iko on top of alamuso first lady e cordal men soto Gambia tarin dulalto iko ye stadium o bala land correctly ba ye wala taya di Adama Barrow la musola koten and the lands state lands act jube ako keno kene be banjo keno kene be KMC mansale tamate ande manyana keno dilela ni mansa ma dila bar jande mansa ba dilela ika apply le ka formal le fil ka to fil ya ki to the lands board local government ministry ila application no nying ya approve niya approve ye continue o nyama ye tenten o nyama ye taaki la kaytol dada a nyama pour kaytol ye fota keno ke tati ya dati ka keno nying ka fenkeje fo be do ko le kala jeba fo be seno le kala jeba bo e ka dila le for residential purposes pour ye keno ta ye bungoloje ye taraje wala ete ni la dimba se taraje State Lands Act ye wala fo and State Lands Act ay safero yitande ko keno be dila momola amari nyanta nyin kela jandin keno be dila e ka fo me ko criteria for obtaining land from the state ya nyantole dada ya silole dada e nyanta men nomala jandin mansa be keno tala ka dila ndofu tala otole man me ko le lande kanga nyama pour mo salon because nte kan na politiko ke wala nyama ka landile ay senia mo be sa kalamuta membe kering sena dun cool kono bake State Lands Act 1991 amended in 2008 State Lands Act enacted in 1991 amended in 2008 ay munefo jande man sakunda be keno tala ka di mola ako ni mu Gambia dingoti e lafta keno la pour ka korda loje e be sabati la dame residential purposes amanke ko pour yeta business o kejere wala yake kunkote agricultural land wama afansung application olati be application o men diamo kan bi walam application for residential property ako Gambia dingo dan Gambia ding ama foko masakunda do kulal bot e ka fo me ko the spirit of the law the spirit of the letter ya dada mune kama pour kam masakunda do kulal makoy bare Loaning State Lands Act aman je seniande bake ka foko masakunda dogulal drop ako momo keta Gambia dingoti ni manke Gambia dingoti afanan na silo bi jele be men no mala jandi be keno dilera bare nga Gambia dingol la ko diamo because Adama Barrow anala musufulol Useno Darboe anala musul anala dingol Gambia dingol la nga wok la ko diamo kana ta a commercial land ko diamo kana ta agricultural land ko diamo be kene ko le diamo la ye mendi la police sabati je wala ni la dimbaya se sabati je ani be bungo lola ya dila le because bundo table yeah one of the criteria ibe keno dile la because bundo table ibe sabati la dame bungo mem muitati be futala na otol State Lands Act mem for allocation of government land for residential purposes. So now, yamune foto ay criteria dumale londi wodolato State Lands Act mbena o karanali ele batu nga jube laptop nyento nga fali State Lands Act 1991 amended in 2008 IMM4 alila moy ay senia jam which ba karanna angale kangoto nga faram fanche mandika kangoto senata jola kangoto sena surwa kangoto bongalong nenga fo jola kang to moja ma ba moy nenga fo manika kang to moja ma ba moy nenga ke English moja ma ba moy la surwa kang to the same but let me read it anyway in English first nga translate State Lands Act MM4 all right so ale mbato nga yele ba nga jube State Lands Act where are you okay So ako luwa ko, so State Lands Act subsidiary legislation I meant for subsidiary legislation walam legislation do kayti doli e men safe State Lands Act koma pour kayitandi molla ñinne keta pour anning State Lands Act yata State Lands Act 1991 amended in 2008. The amendment came into force in 2009. All right? So I meant for them, Janding keno be dila mola. Janding keno be dila mola. Alila moide. Na politiko ni fani abu kata nyola. Na politiko ni hasidia ni konante abu kata nyola because ma jemunat na mbe mo konna, mbe mo normal, mbe mo nenna. Wani Lamin Tamba politiko abu kata adula kile. Mangu senu Darboe kong, mang Adama Barrow kong, mela musol kong, mela dingol kong handomandi. They are my compatriots and I respect them. But nimme luatinya sako momen lote janga ko president jamu sungolati ay kari la korda sunya ay nyim fen ko sunya Barrow senu Darboe ko president jame mang mola state land bankola land man sakunda la keno president jame nene ma sunya ako president jame dala chafarto yabe amam banko mansa keo mansa kunda la keno sunya comme Adama Barrow chief justice la keno sunya nyame itolla ko president Jammeh mo sungolati ko ho president Jammeh $12 million la sunya jang December 2016 yara funding was 600 million o abe larin dame iko president Jammeh lo account o yele illegally ibe korontorin ne ka futa o kodola so niya fo mole ko president Jammeh le $12 million sunya molbe lala ko president Jammeh la sunya pour itol se dunje ya sunya e sena fo mole ko nganyine faale president Jammeh la sunya bare me fotal na woto womo koma to diamol te ngamodna State Lands Act la criteria ay silol men dada anin ferol jandi be mansakunda kenotala ka di mola amari nyanta silo men normal amari nyanta men sotola janding abe kenonye sotola so ika for me ko second schedule of state lands regulations, right? Subsidiary legislation. Schedule 2 ako tubab kangotom bakara na tubab kangotom benala nga fo fansung kangolto because na lual ando nga yalo nga nyifole nung last week ni lokun tambela kabron nata non life ko mole ko angalela bankoto nin korda killing bebul ani ifututa in nenete korda killing dile la benefits housing benefits ita dile la dulato koten ya moyle because ni fututa musole mbam fokewole mbam korda bebul itela tamati Angleterre ita housing benefit dile la dulato fo ni fani afode e ko korda te bulu ima nyini imaje itata korda do dila itaraje mansa bulu kono. You cannot have that. If you own a property in the United Kingdom, they will not give you housing benefits. Ila muso, legally married wife, your spouse or your husband, depending on who owns the house, will not have any housing benefits either. Because housing benefits, aboko Gambia keno allocation, they are similar. Niaje housing benefit dada jang in the United Kingdom, because yalon ko UK jang, Angleterre. Niaje ya dada, yalon ko modola joro, ibulo buke ko beng. So ikamana dila, ika housing benefit dila puru luaso nying, isa demanding jo luaso kono. Isita sabatije, inila dimbaya se sabatije. Ya moile. Bare nimbungo be bulu. Ibe futuring, wala ila muso bungo babulo, ay keo soto fututa. Ita housing benefit dila because ika itanila ko, ite tara dula soto le. Ibe sabatirin dulato, itel tam bungoti. Ita housing benefit dila. This is the spirit of the letter. That's the spirit of the law. Ya dada mune kama pour mol kenote membulu, kordate membulu, femfente membulu, wo finance keno sotono, ise bungo lo no, purum, ise fanna fano inila dimbaya, isa fono nyinen fana na kordate. Ya dada wale kama. Ima dada pour mune kama, pour mo meyal ko korda babulu, keno babulu, asitaka ka apply koten, ka kene dolta ka kafun pour ise fanke na fultiyote. Ima dada wo kama. So the spirit of enacting the State Lands Act 1991, amended in 2008, is to help government employees. Amunum policy lete and privilege for workers of the government. Nibe Gamtel, nibe Nawek, nibe Gambia ports, and la kotengola, is a application no dundi nole. Puru is a plot of land dealer, keno dealer, puru is a doku keno je. Yamoyle. Nin korda killing bebul. Wala korda jama bebulu. Wala ike wala e musu korda jama babulu kenol bebulu. E manyanna kenol dilela. But let me read this and I'll come back to the meaning, the interpretation of the whole section. Second schedule, subsidiary legislation of the State Lands Act 1991. Okay, so first one, so let me read from the top anyway. Regulation 6, second schedule. General eligibility criteria for grant of land for residential purposes in approved layout plan areas. Chief Justice Lakeno Manke approved layout plans altogether, so Adama Barrow shouldn't have taken that land. But mbele nga Adama Barrow long nyola sign. Aka membara, aka memfo ani lua bukata nyola. But we'll come to that in a minute. So ako, general criteria for grant of land for residential purposes in approved layout plan areas. Approved layout plan areas. Chief Justice Lakordabe Daming is not an approved layout plan area. Illegality number 1, Adama Barrow Yemenke. So at a continent, the department is receiving applications for grant of land for residential purposes in approved, again, it emphasizes in approved layout plan areas shall apply to the following eligibility criteria. All right, they've got a few typing errors in this act. I can tell you that straight away. They have a few typing errors, but that's beside the point. So the criteria number 1 that makes you qualify to obtain land from the state. Criteria number 1. A person who is less than 18 years of age shall not be allocated a plot of land. So, nibe 18 years ye duma, eman futa 18 years, eman yana keno di lela. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, a non-Gambian shall not be allocated a plot of land. So government layout also, government land, the government tamu dulal menti. Momo banke Gambia di ngoti, eman yana keno di lela. I wala foja. That's rule number 2. Rule number 3. As a general rule, the allocation shall be 1 plot per person. Plot killing per person. For 1 plot per person. Ngata number 4. Menalale ka fasarali alsalo muna bekeri. Lua munat na lua ka safer nyan. Yo nga modo lejebi on Mr. Lamin Tamba page. Iko ha nteka fo mole ko nga lua karane mu loyalty. Manke practicing loyalty, but momu ya doubt ko nga lua karane anyama. Ike fanne nene. Ya moyle. Mo jamabe Gambia bi dunia kono fang in general, because England law syllabus is the same. For etata Oxford lebang, for etata Cambridge lebang, for etata Imperial College lebang, for etata Aberdeen lebang, for etata Strathclyde lebang, for etata University of Birmingham lebang. The law curriculum, substantive law, mafo momel kap commercial law dronke, walaika housing law dronke, ni substantive law ke. Yeah? Substantive law niyake in England course ning ika 8 modules like 8. Yeah, it's the same. The curriculum is the same. Menjita Yale lembang, okay, Yale is in the United States, but Oxford lembang, Cambridge lem, the same lem. Ni bele tata interview la kabrunka training contract nyene, and then placement on nyene no jang at Tucker solicitors and at MTC solicitors. Bele tata interview la nyola. Yentata imetolta ntata South Bank, London South Bank University, then Tata University of Law. Yentata Melbourne and Cambridge, Melbourne, Oxford, bebe sitting waiting room killing imetolta purka itanda la ko kungole katama Kaito is important. Kaito bondi aitande. Cool. Kari botana njane kungo is very important. Yo, so ngaje mol kanyene karo kafu ha ko amu loyalty. Yes, I'm an academic lawyer. I'm not a practicing lawyer. I don't go to court representing people anymore. But honeybees are for you know. I've written 100-page policy document for my employer, the whole department. I've written a 47-page policy document. Politician only approve layer pass before the 100-page document. I still help people in immigration application or in civil suit application or in family law application or in criminal law defense in Kamul Marco, I give them advice on a personal level, not a professional advice. And honey killing it all kono. The malus. Honey killing. More in cadro. Go and ask my cousin Sergio Tamba and the others, they'll tell you. Ngamol men Marco, ngamol men recommend different things. Go on. Yalo. Sisi konsongo ngalandi karakelina. Where was I? Minimum point 3. As a general rule, the allocation shall be 1 plot per person. Okay? So momo ko Lamin Tamba malong kamendiamo. Abe constitutional law. And nying, this is public law, administrative law. Nyinem na strongest point in law. Nying and in contract law. Nye be sort of distinction all in exams. All right? Public law, European law, public law, another name for public law is constitutional law or administrative law. Contract law, European law, and in tort. These are my strongest points. Tort. If you don't know law, tort walem, kariko nyene nyinkenna, atele boita, kariko atemam boy. That's tort. All right? Nyo sabo. Okay? So anyway, we're at point 3. We go to point 4. The 4th eligibility criteria. Ako, a person who sold, assigned, or transferred his or her allocated land shall not be considered for allocation again for up to 5 years from the date of sale, assignment, or transfer of land. So near Kordadila, approved layout plans also. Ila Kordata ya wafi, senkan wafi. Wala ya di modola. All right? Ite korda sotonola another allocation auto plot auto for until 5 years later. Yamuel luwa nyine fo. Nye keno di intela komi ya di Usenu Darboe dingola nyamen. Komi ya di Adam Barrow la musola dame stadium mobala. Ita sotonola koten ning Adam Barrow la muso Usenu Darboe la muso wala dingo ye kordata ya di modola. Adama Barrow la o Chief Justice ta is plain illegal. A man soto ngawo nyosa bawla fa. Criminal yale ketawoto. It's criminal. It's fraudulent. It's fraud basically. Inyapita kenola le yata. Woman jari ka fuko efo anyantele for amanyang. That's plain illegal. Because Adama Barrow korda jama babulle. Ala muso korda jama babulle. Mbe fotela point hoto menka itandila ko nin korda bebulu already. You should never get another allocation from the government. Batunga fototo. So that number 4. Number 4 ko ni keno dila ya senka wafi wala ya di modola. Ite keno sotala cutting for the next 5 years. Number 5. A person who has not been allocated a plot of land by the government, but having more than 1 plot of land, freehold or leasehold title, shall not be considered for allocation of land. Number 5 is slam dunk. I call a nyaman lafitala nyaman. Ako, nimmo me alko korda bebul, fo etela lobang, fo korda to betela because ya lease lebang. Keno bebul. Amari manyana keno sotola koteng mansa kondabulu. I'll read this again so we can hear it together. I will for criteria, eligibility criteria. Ako, a person who has not been allocated a plot of land by the government, but having more than 1 plot of land in his or her name, whether under freehold or leasehold title, shall not be considered for allocation of land. Nganyine fonung ko manto amamme. Nko. Angerjang. And Gambia lua jama bijia safeta angalter lua lekang. Commonwealth laws. Gambia yole use. Jama bijia Gambia yole use. Commonwealth laws. So femfenka for Gambia lua to a jama ya copy ya bondi nang Angleterre la loi bu ko leto walat na ako mang amang jakal amang beta kaburung ko last week ko nin kordabe bulu already imanyana korda dile la Gambia kotek imanyana keno dile la Gambia kotek because Angleterre luwal be safere wala nyaaw nini mo fututa ning amari atole tam pengo fenti membal bulu fona keta alia prenuptial agreement safele jandal be futula prenuptial agreement wala monti America e ka lafile e ka sonne ko nini kari be futula ye fengo feng soto jandi lungo menal be futula wo muite talet lungo menal fututa kata nyato fengo feng soto taje atol le tam te atol mo fulol nal nata wali futuo nata bang al fututa lungo menna futu banta al kaw talale 50-50 wala nale dingol soto membe dingol jubela wala ka jamata akake wala nyama because the judgments are not always the same amanke judgment or judgment kake killing it yeah but akake wala nyama kamisalo le itandala akake nyama. So this is why I'm saying to you guys ko landing number 5 ako nimbungo bebulo korda bebulo foka pare imanya na kor kenado di lela because mo jamal wili wilol be siri mansa kundato hani sama sanji tanni woro koma sanji muan koma wolbe keno nyine kam mansa buli masotono je useno dabo dunta mansa kunda kono lungo menna ala baro dunta lungo kono lungo menna mai fati dunta mansa kundato lungo menna nkonga mai fati la ko diamo ni jana ako ha amansoto aw korda men sang CSC for SSC manole bulubong iko for 10 million and for 15 million aw sanne drong adunta masa kunda ako manke kuma sotorente bare munat na maw korda nying amantar no ngabulu janda ka dum masa kunda to ke interior minister mo malo. Okay, so lumbe sila kuol bele be koyla because sa ngabe damen iko mon kutole nyo kindulalo ibela sonko men bela coalition 2016 nodo e walita nyame nyo bay man sakundato mengo menna e man sonka funtinang ya tinyaro men ke kadiamo ya president jamela bagasol la cool ya kenyamen e manta e mawdati kadiamo folode e be deni ngo kan aseme nyawnya o be funtila nan ba moy la nyola. But anyway, we were at point 5. Let me proceed to point 6. Point 6 of the eligibility criteria of obtaining land from the state. Point 6. A person who applied for a plot of land before and was considered but failed because of the limited number of plots available shall be given priority over others. So civil servant solmelie masakunda kenoya apply sanji tang komanto sanji tani woro komanto jani be keno talaka di useno dabu la musola useno dabu ko ala musoe application oke after kabrate by 2019 kana sign ako adi musoe application oke kabrate by 2019 kana sign ate bulo man dunje ka kuwol nyori pour ala muso anadi muso ye keno soto mansabul. So therefore it only application no dundi 2-3 years 4 years ago. But modoli la application no dundi 16-20 years ago. Wal natalen tela Facebook oto ko ntebe listoto 16 years sign mbe listoto hani bi man korda soto man keno soto man sabul je useno dabula musoya apply 2019 adi musoya apply 2019 ye keno di wala mune kama for what reason mbe futala na wotale batu nga continue nyim pontoldo. I'll come back to it. Usen Darboe donende Adama Barrow ta wo mu criminality from the start. Usen Darboe ateta manke criminality bare meyati na akuo mulinja yata mba diamola. Yeah, mba diamola albeya mo nyola ando luwale afo nte mafo nte ka luwale fasari pour molsa moy molsa lo andi ngalo nyame nga katama nyame in the United Kingdom anyanta tamala wala nyama Gambia kenobe membulu kene kilimbe membulu comme luwaye men fo kenobe bulu Usenu Darboe kordaji lo ba bulu Gambia asiata Usenu Darboe na la futu muso e manyana keno tala mansabulu Usenu Darboe na dimmuso imanyana keno tala mansabulu because a dimmuso be siring America. Ibe keno dila wabe bungola kono America fa ke la silo le kang America ba. Ide man tara sabatri in Gambia. Ika keno ta ka dila ifa ma na la keno be membabulu. Mbe futal na water memun na point order. Let's go to point 7. So point 6 says Momo me alonko I keno apply le amana soto. Nin keno nata soto koteng mansa nyanta wala tambende la nyato pour wala keno soto follow jande meli application kutol dundi. That's point 6. Point 7. A person who is in rented accommodation for over 5 years shall, subject to paragraph 6, be given priority over others. Ako subject to paragraph 6 walam na application no dundi no bara man na soto nin kena kutol soto ta amari nyantatar la rango nyato anu na mari be loi sola fo sanjillu kene do tabulu korda do tabulu ala musu korda ama fo ala musu, but I'm telling you that's the spirit. Yalong in law there are what you call the mischief rule, the golden rule, and the literal rule. Yeah, loi kono abigele was fensaba loi ka safe fenne kama ibka wuli drong ya safe ika safe fenne kama to stop abuse, to stop corruption, to stop nepotism. Ika safe wala kama. So I call point 7. A person who is in rented accommodation for over 5 years shall, subject to paragraph 6, be given priority over others. So abe loa sola sanji lulu nimfeng. Amang korda soto no. Ning korda kana di mola memman tara loa sola an ngalong useno Darboe di muso buka loa so ke Gambia. Useno Darboe la musuma abuka loa so ke Gambia. Munat na yetol tambende ke kiwo santo adama Barrow la muso woma nyana kudiya wala fang womo criminal yalete simple korda babebul korda fula bebul manka mankonda korda dol bebul kombotare dolal tutare ntenga long bare munat nambuka first lady la kodiyama because first lady is not officially a government position amanya na budget sotola amanya na femfen na sotola masa kunda bula akema la soto atena akema nyanta wala tala letem. But B, Adama Barrow, la first lady about Kula Gambia. That's point 7. The penultimate one, 8, because point 9 lebije. Criteria, eligibility criteria. Point 8. Ako. Yeah? Persons whose plots have been re-entered for contravention or non-compliance with lease conditions shall not be considered for grant of another plot for 5 years from the time of re-entry, or until sufficient proof is produced to the effect that they would be in a position to develop the plot of land accordingly if allocated. So near keno dila ima tamande anyama e keno dila puri bungolo ima nalo yake motogara soti wala ya yere man yake marseti wala yake kudoti mansan nyanta murnale ay keno ta ibulu aya 5 di $10 bare ni ya itandala okay fine maka nyama bar sambe na korda lola je den man sa bulebul because ye keno di la pure bungolo ye sabati je e damma wala ni la dimbaya bara nyante ke la residential purposes mo be sabati la dama ali amoyle wala na keno di la. That's point number 8. Ni maka nyama iba busi lebul ba ni abusi bulu fanang inata fo gale ko yaita ni mola ko okay sign mena korda lola nje na gara so le kenunje bare mbe ko le fefe kan non pour ka kafun nyokan pour sina bu ngolo so sang akodo be mbolle bo mo se fu nyaaw nyam bena bundi ngol lon dilaje den se kenota ya morndi bulu ni ma okay e be keno busile bulu ibadi la modola because wala sulata la kenola dan modol useno dabula muso sulata kenola mintole Adama Barrow la muso sulata kenola mintole useno dabula di muso membe siri ni America asulata kenola minto abe sabat la minto fo America be damen buntije munat man keno sang Gambia kom tol do Lamin Tamba ni modole menke kataka keno sang Gambia kila fansun kordaloji munat na fama na la kordal be ya ay men soto Gambia ni kenol amanta je afama e keno diela. They're just abusing the process, nepotism, corruption, atata anata. Fendo bijele. Again, literal rule, mischief rule, golden rule. Again, the morality of doing certain things. Sometimes luwa ma foko kana ke. Bare niya ke akake kasidality. Abuka nyinya amanyang promosa manya sifake. Luate Gambia meal ko for Adama Barrow ko. Kana $30 million private jetota ni kata America. But Adama Barrow ya lon $30 million private jetota ka fly America wala kata Senegal. Abe Gambia batandila abe Gambia dundila toro kono ate diala molie. That's the spirit of the law, the spirit of the letter. Luaka safe for a reason. Niaje eko jande mansa kundabe contract ko dila contractola. Aitandi bankola ko nyen doko la nyanta kela molie na yela fero yitandi nito nie contract ko dila etolbe doko kela nyamen e ba kela nangamo menna e ba banna wato men. E ka fume ko tender, you submit your application. Ya yitandi mansa kundala ko a lafta salole lola banjol nimbara tema. Ntese salolo no $100 million. And the salolo no sanji sabangabang. Do fana sena so ha nteba lolal de abentala $200 million. And salo nying baba na sanji saba bare na salo mbakela tenin na telebe nyinyala odotat. You tender, you get bids coming from all over the place. Ya jube mansakunda se jumala tamande no anyama. It's a $200 million tatanole barabe mansakunda torala. Ne 100 million ota as the same do ko ke maybe ate dulani nyandila kom 200 million obe menkela bare ne 200 million ota as Gambia dundi as salo dada no salo se nyinya bara se keno ate boro sotonola ko do te tulaje men se boro sanno ka samba na loptanol to ko do te tarlaje pour ni school la sirangol ni tabulol katita ibe 5 dada la nyame wala ibe order la nyame ke replace e ka forma ko balancing the budget. You have to look. You don't do things because muneketa nsa kenole. No. Ika jude ninga nyinke. Faben tora la faten tora. Ila korda, ila dimbaya la mani boto kana bang sama. Yalon ko nyanta mani boto sana sama. Ware B iko. Ta base Sajio samanang from base ya samanang puru kariye. Amanke te fangola Sajio to. Bari muso ko ta base Sajio samananye. Please. Asajo nying fenta motala abe base anyama kodo membe bulukuru kamane boto sansama yota yake base pasote muna sama te kila ila family ila dimba kolia kutiba. You have to think ikaflo ke Sajo is safe fema mota amansa sa fentije yo na sister man need urgently sulata kodo la sama pour kamane boto san boton kana na pasota ka dundi base pasoto kada kana Saman said, "Don't problem or that's how you think. You project. Yeah, you leave money for contingency. You budget. You leave some money aside. You think ahead. You have a vision. You calculate ahead. All that I call budget. Budget mambo ko kodo be mbolemba be tu se la sa no. Jande sango be banna be sula la nyinala be nyine kodo bondi la kanyin doku kawdo doku. Bare na fero tela alondo tela. Wala afero bela alondo bela bare emu kasara lati tinyar lati Gambia ngani hotela pour ka Gambia doku wala kanyi manya sifa dundi NPP ni UDP kono be tinyaro men coalition 2016 in general amanke UDP ni NPP drontide wotumo ila noise be siari ila diamo be siari President Jame teng President Jame jana President Jame teng ay menke aning ama menke ay membara aning mamem bara iba diamo la suto tili radio betala watcha internet betala watcha B amol be derin tek ibe NPP Adam Barrow na la mol jubela ibe sunyaro kala diata e nyamen ibe UDP kol jubela be sunyaro kala nyam UDP mantara man sakundato anymore. So it's unfair ka all criticize ka foko man sakundala bo lan kenonying I'm sure influence benu jele nepotism be jele na manke oti munat ne Useno Dabola muso ye landiala because ateman sula kenola akema kordal babule woma fansun kordal Usain Darboe la musula kordal Usain Darboe la musula kordal Usain Darboe la kordal mala musula kordal Usain Darboe di muso amantara luasla amantara dokola mansae munat na ya tammini rango nyato because ako afango e memfo ngala safer doje dula doto adi muso membe America amantara Gambia de amansula kenola Gambia nasula tala ita ya sang nasula tala puruka sabatije ayna kordalo munat na tammin ako ate application o dunde kabria fama bay mansa kondato 2019 so molmeli application o dunde since 2010 2008 wolbe batundiro la hanesai munat na Usain Darboe de muso jompta rangola yata kenyato e keno diala Usain Darboe la muso kordaji le babulu because akema la kordal matalda amantara dula amantara nyineka. Anyway, so near keno de la emada da nyama mansa e sembo sotale pour ka busible 1.8 the last point criteria eligibility criteria a person whose plot of land whether leased or held under customary tenancy has been acquired by government for public purposes shall be given priority over others. Yes. So ning komi be road clearing menna mansakunda menje dunia kono they've got powers called compulsory powers. Yamwele. Wala, the other language you can use walem reclamation of land. Because mansa letam kenoti dealer. Ni mansa sula tala sama purka silo dada. Wala purka na extension o loje. Fengo me alonko mansa kundala na falem. Wala kataka stadium o loje. An mansa kundala tam stadium oti. Jamala na falem. Mansa kundaya sembo sotole. Purkira korda taibulu. Bara mansa kundanya nyanta menkela walem. Ibe safela le wala ye kumandi ka foi ko ela kordade yin sanjo men kanaten lafta kana sila bale loje wala kata airport le loje wala ka seaport le loje comme men ke half day itata ka mo la kordal busije alright bare ma busi a nyama the same thing yola ke jabang itata ka mo la kordal busi adam baronyo e ma busi a nyama but anyway man say sembo sotal pour kana ka fo ko ila kordan kana fenne lo amanke kunkiling nafa tati de comme ye menke chief justice la kordal wo mo criminal yalati simple npp la sunyaro ni corruption drone be wota bare masa kunda sembo sotal ka fo ko compulsory purchase ngana la korda tale because lafta kanyine lo pour mo jamala nafa banko la nafa lafta da kana ta because lafta ka Radisson Blue hotel ole lo jam pour OIC conference woka kenola bare nyanta men kala nyanta adequate notice la dire la yeah ye plot of land nyine nakata is very urgent man sakunda la nyanta tala ka keno nyine ka dula nyine ke sambaje plus ila kordala hapo momenti asongo momenti e ka wafi men ni bina wafi la marseto wala ka wafi moma ala value momenti man sakunda ka dila la plus a little bit of compensation on top for the inconvenience ya mwele so ni kana jang e ka memfo ni mansa lafta kana koten to reacquire the land from you e lafta ka table asinale afo ko jari de nyi wati sifal minala ka land table nyinem dilo te ngasi nga kacha sa ko okay fine na kordanyen I cost $10 million is lela it's okay but $10 million o deal le then be another percentage deal maybe another 1 million on top ye 11 million so to move because lafta le kana fengole lojang membe jama nafala ya moyle man sakundaye wala fojang 0.9 koni lafta ka plot ta membulu because of government allocated plot ya wala dila man sa lafta ka tay bulu kotem pour fendo ni plot dol yele dula dolto e kana allocation do ke dula dolto ite nyanta tara rango nyato e nyanta keno dila tele la first before mo kotengo because ye la keno tay bulle e nyanta dula nyina la lebe sambala dame ay wala fo jam 0.9 so what on you may yitandi walam the eligibility criteria points 1 to 0.9 I may yitandi walam ni kana keno di Gambia molla masakunda kana keno allocate inyanta allocate la jumale la kordate membulo kordate bulu doto ye application o kele be rangoto ya moyle yo bare mel fanangi bina keno di la menda e ba di la molle la mel ko be luaso la sanji lulu ane nyato be luaso la keno table nimme ya apply nung canifing layout wol ma soto bare be rangoto be batundirola nim bruce bi layout o yeleta walla nyanta tarla rango nyato katambi multimedia application o dun design ya moyle ni keno di la e ma tamane nyanta tamana ye keno ta nyanta sabat la dame yake factory oti keno nyang mansa nyanta busile bulle awole fo nin keno be bulu kene jama be bulu imanya na keno soto la muk doto ama foko ni mantara masakunda dokola luanyi mawo seniyande ama foko ni mantara masakunda dokola te keno nyinge ta apply nola nga hollo nyola le sign nga bele kara nga jube ama foko ni mantara masakunda dokola bor luanyi ni aje ya dada po wala kama ni kunko soto imam mo nyine men kana ka kunto kanta ama itandi ko sulol sina ila kunkoto ila sene fengo damode no wa manke invitation oti pour sulol sina yela sene fengo damo because of mune mankantar lale keji niaje loi data teng pour ka masakunda doku lal makoy pour se keno because loi ya lon ne ko masakunda doku lal la joro buka siya comme private joro ka kenyame so pour masakunda doku lal se keno soto no mansale nyante makola ni wonte tote tara dula soto no so because of loi ma foko mo men man tara masakunda doko la bo man yanna allocation o soto la for residential purposes ama yitandi ko mo be America abe Sweden abe England wala ikema korda jama babulu wala imusu korda jama babulu isa apply no le kenota man sabulu wamo hadumolete greed in consideration am walete loi yola fo don't apply because you're entitled to it, even though it might need. Can I apply just because iko ifanansa apply no atara akuote tela. Laws are passed for a reason. Nieman kantar la lande la kunkoto is not an invitation pour sulo sena la kunkoto e damoroke. Just because loi mafoko is for government workers only doesn't mean wealthy individuals, Melboko Oceano Darboe, can come in and start applying and taking land and sharing between them. Adama Barrow, as of 2021, I heard NPP Molba Fokang he was worth $400 million. Kendingo membuka sandal correct ngo fango sandon jang 2016. Je ngala mansonol jele manka mankunda, ngala motol jele be bordila, nga dingol jele be sabatering America. Wobe sula la kenola wati jumale. Fokataka state land amanke approved layout plan area. Chief Justice plot Adama Barrow nana NPP ka sunya. NPP mola la officials all ka funtinang ka wulia babuntan ka foko ha ye landing allocate le correctly under what law? Law jumale ko Adama Barrow la 4 houses Mel Babulu. Anala Manjum estate Membabulu. He's entitled to get allocated land from the government. Law jumale for na manke faniati anen sunyaroti anen tinyaro ni nakaro NPP ning Adama Barrow be men na Gambia. Law jumale o fay. Luati jeme o fayde a diata tele dron sembo babulu e nyapita chief justice la property la yata kenol be Adama Barrow koldral babulu a musol a nyong kataka state lanta ka sunya ka katati what law nga loi ni ne karande ni loi kilin na be Gambia state lands act ni loi kilin la be Gambia mbatu ngaju be constitution order I think nga karande no jang before the president's section 69 immunity. Yeah, I read this before quite some times ago. As to what land, state lands, Momanyan Nakama, Melboko residences, Mafo allocated approved plan areas. Chief Justice Lacorda is not in approved plan areas. Oceano Dabola Muso, ana di muso wala soto approved plan areas le bar imanya na soto la because Usenu Darboe la muso amantara korda nyine ka Usenu Darboe la korda tang na keta korda tan ne babulu wala korda keme na keta korda keme babulu wolmo ala muso fangola korda le tifana amantara dula nyine imanya na landi lala it's illegal ala di muso mantara Gambia fang she's not going to live there so ya allocate ay nyame abita fo abita korda lola le fata lola ba momalo she should not have had it because molbe rango kang 15 years ibe batun kang ate ko application okela after 2019 or somewhere in 2019 after her dad's dismissal munat na yate jump de silo kang rango nyato for what reason namanke nepotism and corruption yeah Gambia la constitution na jube bang I think it's section 66 or section 65 68 something like that 1 second constitution of the Gambia na jube I'll zoom to it quickly. Ngama in the 60s. Yeah, section 60 something. Constitution ya kodi amala. All right? So therefore, ntenga mengi je wala coalition 2016. Amad banata janne ngala kuo mwele menke jang tourism development area for sign commission odun talaka investigation okay. Bata midu menke jang anala musukoyo. Kalanta ka president jamela asset sol ta menko iko president jamela asset sol ka o dispose adiata e nyamen hani bi listo man fontinan ka itane molla ko nga korda wafi karilema nga wafi nangam karila a beti nyar ni mol kuriyata bake imam balfa soto Gambia dingol ye han domande e konkotol nin kamfatol le nata a benim fani anin anin tumiro ni wala duntana masa kondado e duntana yara fang itolle it ain't impressive Jamilala because at least senyor saba boro pour Gambia kano ka Gambia dingol tanka ke support ka loye pour ila interest moti je mentambe ta president Jamal ayetol be no wallet ayetol be by wallet e manke kelente and is another 144 landed properties eco president Jamal memata 144 because honey killing him abulabul 22 years President Jammeh ba Mansayala. Iko hani kene killing. Ata sotonola. Ya bebu sabulu. Including ala family house in Kanilai. Ye JK military sabati dulati. Military barracks. 22 years. My fati nata jandi ba for 7, 8, 9 years aw mansono nyinga asan. Ako amasan government kodola. Possible. Lumbe sila abe fundlana. Adama Barrow. 5, 6, 7 months. Adingol tata America ala manka mankunda bum follow low that. EU have 150 million dealer, including deportation deals. Yeah, another 325 million dealer. America, according to the deportees, you have 40 million di ada barola government la pour ye d'accord, ye some deportation ola. Nga moy nyola le kenno ngin interview janne, ye kenno attack for ya dendi. Wo for job kenno lemba. Ako $40 million American government in Gambia government yo grant le di Gambia government la pour se song pour ka Gambia nol deport president Jammeh bank di lol menda nil konkotol nata rek e nyapita di lol kan e nyapita kodo kan ya be talanta langi dambangol tema ibuka kodo fango jadun tadame 375 million euros from EU 40 million euros dollars from the United States and in World Bank loan solely mentor from $48 billion is debt to $115 billion is debt. A fele loan kutol ta kote. World Bank kudo di nawek la rien moma kudo nafaji. Nawek be kuntu kandulal to tari. World Bank kudo di Gambia la pro agriculture a kudo tata moma longa dunta dame. Ye kudo di Adama Barrow from last year 2023 kana this year 2024. Over 100 million. About 135, 145 million. A be atata filter. Muhuma long Adama Barrow la mansakunda. Anala doku lal. Yin kudo be dundi dama. Buka nafaje Bangkokan. Paracetamol buka soto loptanolto. Scanner sol buka soto loptanolto. X-ray sol buka soto loptanolto. Geo buka soto loptanolto. Kurango buka soto loptanolto. Ambulance buka soto loptanolto. Surgical glove buka soto loptanolto. Fen ne man tara tama kan Adama Barrow koto. Na man ka sunyaroti ani kono futol member warakan day in day out. They're getting bigger. They're getting obtuse. They're getting obese. You name it. Fen na mantara tamaka. Crime rates, drugs. Abe nko ngajele nga drug scandal dole je airport auto. Ajube drug. Ita amari ita convict la jande. Animal killing out of all the 500 blocks of cocaine, loads of kgs of cocaine. Animal killing, Imaole successfully prosecuted for drug dealing in the Gambia. Near a conto di Domanin Kuntuya di NPP la abanta fentete mutala. Nine mansa conducting a man sort of Gambia B. Let me find section 68. I think it talks about land, if I remember well. I think because last time I was reading section 69 word for word, but I've seen section 60s before. Are worse than Yaya Jammeh. Worse, 10 times worse. In Boro Saman and Gambia, Kawandi Dingol fall of Tanolto because of money and corruption. Pharmaceutical company member Egypt and in Pakistan, Gambia Borol Kabonan Dam Wato. They will pay the market value for those medicines, but they'll be quality medicines. No, Yekona Kuntu, Itata pharmaceutical company Mealonko is not accredited. World Health Organization may recommend. Banku Koteng Buka Boro Tao pharmaceutical company. Inata Gambia didn't all portion. Ye Gambia didn't all far 73. Until fair atambita hotel back from Fuf. Because 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, more men fata Gambia from kidney and liver issues. A siata back. Mfango bari musol fata yele, mbari keol fata yele, kidney, liver between 2018 kana for 2023. Kabri nyim koro boyta malong itata mintola koten kaborol samana pour ka mendi Gambia di ngolla. I don't even know who the supplier is anymore. All right? Nyemol imam barfa soto molie. Nyemman sa keo jerek anata 3-4 months a start ka fan nafa. Mako nga officiate, self-serving, self-centered, very corrupt. Nepotism betaka nga nyama. Isa along ko amansa keo man tarige banku dokola. Adama Barrow mansa keo lati. Coalition 2016 be mo lati. Inata that was 600 yeno. Ngala scandal jenun jane kun serum for serum ko bale mga don't know. Iko president mele illegal account o yele. 600 million o me talanta langi damangol tema. Nga scandalo jene jang eka sosoro ke ha tol ma withdraw so kodole. Melbourne dokola president Jamela Mansakundata iko because of red tape siata, bureaucracy, red tape. Nibe application o kala purka flight katabake ka funti Gambia kata somitoto wala emergency le kata ka Gambia dingol bundi nang Libya wala ke bondi nang Africos kabron albalabe nunje wato menna aka tam tale pour fenko nyisita application ola so ka kodo bondi jele pour fengo se keno Mansakundato katabake yeah. Then ning approval or through the normal process, your kodota ya Jose via the normal approval process. The account was not illegal. It was there for contingency, emergency purposes. It only kodi ba tara jere rek ya ta ya talanta. That scandal was ya mbele ngaji nyola. Mantara fanial. Na keta nga watu soto nga post men sa kang ani nga Facebook live men kaya kang 2017 because nga for more in 2017 in Malala nko Gambia government, coalition government, itata $500 million, $600 million, to $500 to $600 million. Itata Eco Bank ya talanta lang nyote ma kodo transfer to Senegal. Nga fonu njande in my live program in 2017. Ikonte muul kabano lati. I'm butthurt. I'm enemy of progress. Ye kolbe la command ye nene ye intimidate kolbe from. 2022 afuntita nanjam. Aketa jam big scandal. Yara fannu itolle kodo nyinta ya talanta langi dambangol tema ka foko president Jamele o $12 million osunya. What $12 million onying, the amount nying is up to about $600 million is will be account onying kono. Yes, my brother Darboe. They stole all of Jamel's assets. Ya talanta la bare inila sonko be. They will not reveal ye Jamela assets or Kenyame. Nga moy ye nisol Kenyame. Nga moy le motol Kenyame. Mbere ngaje party leader killing kalo Homa Santo ana Homa nyengamo president Jamela Tamati ngamo abe pakri nung former minister of finance la Cordato coalition government la first minister of finance abe pakuli nu wala kordato president Jammeh la homa ala limousine do bije ngamo yo tale ya di sénégalais musicien ola ala 4x4 ya ta ya di sénégalais la ya wafi men na momalo nga ñimmo sifale soto iman lafi Gambia la kayrola VIP motol mel benunje memba tinala 12 billion on be mendundi la motola dépense auto OIC to wo 12 billion on ñing wo VIP motol president Jammeh mel bula Gambia wol benun OIC silo bore bore nano ya ta ya be wafi yas talang dabangol tema memba jela hani bi dol wo motol bi jele be mabore la cordal to ni mol e konkotol e kamfatol e buka tonya fo e natale ke fan nafa Gambia dingol yetol mako ye baraka Gambia dingol. This is what they did. Alim mako nga fesialte nga selal daba kunkungol santo ngatol jube duma ale continue batala dro. Yeah, let me find section 68. I think it's section 68. So I remember can. What is it? Okay. I think it's section 68. What is it? 68. Okay, so anyway, yajele ka fo nyam president Jammeh manyan na korda sotola after 22 years. Adama Barrow kabiro senu dabu funtita na kai ko. Ning UDP winter jang bela korda busi label because amang ketate. Korda nyeng mansa kundale tam korda. Adam Barrow ka kamfa. Aka kamfa fa ka jija comme Dr. Sisi a kamfa de nu nyame. Yeah, 22 years ko president Jammeh te keno sotola. Korda te label. President Jammeh na la agriculture empire be eko hani kenetilin tabul a fansung certain dingo village o kanilai ala korda be dama eko jefa nga masotono ite usen daw na da ko ke yema inyapita mansala kenola la ye korda nyin e kata ka ke ikunkulin na fala ni UDP nata mba tale bul antonyalam masakunda nata inyanta busila Adama Barrow bul ika kamfa fo ka jija ika duwa usen dabola sayala ko ite bitala e sediala usen dabola banete nyala. How do you know? Itete jila foni lungo men diata foni lungo men na seno dabo bat fo itele tami la place oti Adam Barrow Gambia nol be jindi nolale from that place and opposition on ninga unity soto jang be jindi la place oto iko ha ite jila foni o seno dabo je afata fo ifango seta sa sedi ko afata le jandi be jila mansa fo itele tam mansa je 22 years ko president Jammeh to korda soto nola keno fango tetar labul Barete within 3, 4, 5 months, Mansono starta kaloye manka mankunda. Sign affiliate tata Chief Justice la dolata. And ngamoy notice so detail e molmel be around the place. Pour wol finance wuda is a budget. Pour itemu malon fo ilafta ke Chief Justice la korda e nyapita menkang. Ilafta kawale extend ba. Fo ilafta kamune lo wadulato e ko mole ko ye wuda dame funti dame bang. I don't know. Yes, I heard about Fatumata Jallo Tamba Jamfana. But mala any information sort of to show that afanang ye land tale illegally because korda babul le Gambia. Adingole kordal sort of le Gambia. A man need kordala. No government allocation. It will be mele korda ta in 2017 to come to this date. Naketa korda be bullenum before they should return it to the state. Inyanta mundilale. Anyway, let's have a look. I don't think section I don't think it's section 68, maybe section 67. Salaries and allowances, misconduct. Okay, anyway, we know what we're talking about. Lands Act is enough. Yeah? Okay. ngamna section 192 lam. Local government and traditional rulers, but it doesn't go in detail. All right. There shall be established a land commission whose composition, functions, and power shall be prescribed by an act of the National Assembly. So, Wallam State Lands Act, Yemen Amendment 2008. All right. So, it talks about local government administration and other things, infrastructure, and act of the National Assembly shall make provision for the functions, powers, and duties of local government authority, including provision for infrastructure, encouragement of commercial enterprise, and other things. Idea mo kijera. All right. So, okay, so what I mean, that's the Lands Act Natale because of section 192 and in 194. Yeah, Moile. So I'm not gonna spend so section 192, 192, 193, and in 194. Yeah, they're talking about the Local Government Act and in Lands Act. But anyway, that's the topic for today. A beta ta nata sunyaro dro, sunyaro landem, sunyaro dro, fango la broda ko nyadi, mo sabali. Ako NPP mu keren kafoleti. Yara fangata jump nang from keren kafo to keren kafo, from UDP keren kafo to NPP keren kafo. This is why in ko opposition party be na nyola momo be coalition 2016 no kono nga wollandi karala bang retire si be nga nga kafu nyokan nga motambini meal ko still credible ato man no dulato amanta nyapi man sakundala na fuloto amam fem fenneke nga nga kafu nyokan. Yeah moyle. So anyway, what am Gambia la featured? That's the only way we're gonna end some of these things that are happening now. UDP damate Adama Barrow Bondela because abe election o regularly janjang te fennology. Ya moyle. Mbele ngaji jola jang Supreme Court me yati na a case nying election petition on ya 5 banta. We've seen it. Nga lonne mune bekere. Ya moyle. APRC dama in our current guys, into Adama Barrow Bondinola. Joy 110. GDC in the current guys into Adama Barrow Bondinola. But an intol be keta kilenti, momo nga men tombong ay credibility soto amantara coalition 2016 to a tobe seniaring a Gambia kano bala, fero bala, alondo bala, nyimbata sifa me menkono be bola konel because that state lands act needs to be revised. Anyanta revised lal. Big revision on nyanta talaji. In fact, mansa manyana keno talaka di mola anymore. You can take loans that are favorable to government employees. Sometimes you go to the cooperative bank. Lots of employers in the government departments, they have deals with the cooperative bank. Ikata cooperative bank, you take a loan at a cheaper interest rate. Favorable deal, yeta korda sang or a keno sang. Kalanta ka dimola is open to abuse. But nimuso musu fututa kema korda babulo. Wala keo fututa imusu kerda babulo. The state should not give you another plot of land after a mojama be searing. Ibe rangoto mele alko hani korda kelintela muso bulu ate kema bulu. It needs to be revised. Some of these acts need to change. And civil service oriented reform laws big time. If you want a plot of land, go to the bank, get money, buy a plot of land, private or somewhere. Anyanta kela wale nyama. Woto bi, bekacha menna bi, land ko, nyina nata kaita ni ko. O seno dabo man sene ya kuolto. Adama Barrow watale gena worsta. Because ateta amamboko fa anyinya tala fama nyinya. O seno dabo la muso na di muso. Yes, amanyinya, bare ima luatinya. O seno dabo la muso maybe woye luatinya le. Bare luanya ma sene ande kaita ni ko. Na ke ma korda babulo afananta sotola bara dimmuso nyen mo manyan na fenko nyen sotola ay tambi molla melbe rangoto masakunda dokula melbe rangoto amanyan na kela because fama be semboto wala tinna itolia kenyin kenol soto ka tambi modolte melbe rangoto sanji tanni lulu wolbe rangoto be ibe batonka amanyan na kela bara amanke ko they've committed an illegal act. Adama Barota is an illegal act. Ala Musota is the same situation on Sano Dabla Muso. Was stadium landing, ika memfonum koya di Adama Barola first lady la. Stadium mobile de Imira. That land is premium. Very important for the government. Because as canon kana 60,000 stadium ole low. Stadium membulun se otaino now although extend will have car parking spaces, we have social amenity in the area, we'll expand it to go to other areas to bring about commercial activity related to the stadium. Itata ya chika ya di ala musola. Yemenfo. So si sol. Itol damangol tema la benyo wanyar kansai. President Jamela listo ite ofundi lande. Yemenke President Jamela ni sola, tractola, cordala, business ola, ite ofundi lande ani motol. Ise nyo kinyaonya. Ibe siri ngokandrong. Ima lafika funtindina. Because tilingotije. Ibe menke kan ka kenol sunya ka talantalang idambangol tema ni la family sol ni la friends sol. Yo wala ke President Jamela motolla ala ni sol ana ala cordal. Alistoni ita fundilan ibe siri wakane fa deteta lep. Ene ila sonko be. Ise nyo kinno jam fasama. Iman pare ka ufundindina. Barabe fundilanande. Ase me nyaonya. Abe fundilanande. Yo woto bi wana nakacha koti aning na APRC babele mansa nga jenung safer do be dola dolto molka foko ha ye ya tambala executive o memo APRC la executive te president jame ko aba executive o nyen talale tonyati ji anung wo safero ko ye to life anang expel from APRC tonyati ji Al Badi Male Lamin Tamba, Voice of Lamin Tamba YouTube channel. BLM on the 6th of August 2024. Atonya Tije, APRC la executive, legitimate executive Muyaya Tambaleti, Anala executive all the way down, partying to the ordinary members. Memen dua kang walem, na APRC dingol meltata NPP al murunang. Na APRC dingol men ya tambala executive wali ta al murunang nga kekelente nga tanyato. Nga ya tambala executive makoy na President Jame makoy and by extension be Gambia le makoy kan ka Adama Barrow bondi man sayato nga bokkol yako non be men ko bare be men fokan wolem opposition on alid number sol jube kanyo kong kanyo noma kambang nyoto nga stop sign UDP ali President Jame no mo bula APRC ali UDP no mo bula doy ali UDP no mo bula GDC alnanga ke kelente ni manke wote Adama Barrow betar la jel ngamen fonu wala bije asikanon tese bata bare bata be modol le batande la tambentade ning Adama Barrow tata jan 2026 ko wiu Adama Barrow ma yelala ko tende comme PPP tamo manganaso molba domola Gambia manganaso molba domola ate bayla number sol bijele local government election opposition or popular vote soto ntala cartel siata Adama Barrow ning NPP National Assembly election naman kit nominated MP solti aning independent MP sol dol meltata melata Adama Barrow kan opposition ole sembo soto Adama Barrow la NPP ti député bu ngokono hani presidential election 2021 anila sunyaro be UDP 200 and something thousand votes soto GTC over 100,000 votes soto Doye over 30 something thousand for 40,000 votes soto SFI 17,000 something soto party kotengon nyaka funyokang is over 100,000 so GDC APRC 100,000 joining others 100,000 UDP 200 and something thousand ninga kafunyokang that's 400,000 and te akweta maleko about 30% to 50% of APRC supporters all iman sonkata karte fight 2021 ninga nyo moy nga President Jame no mo bula nga UDP Kongo bula nga Doy Kongo bula nga GDC Kongo bula mbekata kelente nga Gambia je nata ke kelente mbe Adama Barrow boyndila le clean way fa senia wetch afango be give up lal naya moy bi opposition Gambia party be nata ke comme Pastef keta nyamem Senegal mbe nata ke kelente anin opposition kanaka ke kelente amambo ko an kana APRC la taka di UDP la wala ka UDP la taka di APRC la wala ka doyla ta no we come together as equal partners business partners nga na memorandum of understanding that afa nyinya nga na manifesto that afa nyinya nga candidate select me ala ko mol latala a fero babulu man sakonda katama nyamen a londo babulu Gambia nganu yo babulu tonya molem anda mobu kan nyorino easily kensenke a moment sela fenna mbe sulari mo sifala la bi things can change things all can change to babul ko 1 week is a long week in politics walam to babul kamen for wala local killing of political kono fen jama se kunnoje man lafi Usainu Darboe la nyawnya fen se keno bi ay ke man sate jande loko be banna man lafi Adama Barrow la BBB janning arjumalungo mo jaba bi jemel mal la fala ase ku keno la ase convince no la ko sa nga pare ta banku do ko la same president Jammeh si chipon na Gambia bi mo la fo he president Jammeh ne fisi Adama Barrow nga londi nga ay mburum state house it's all possible it's politics Musa Funtina ne from nowhere mo be yelala I taka win but nimmo me alon ko fero tala a londo tala a experience o tala a nganio tala a fatia tala nkana nyaton kaya diala koten ay dang Adama Barrow drone 2016 ngamoyle because demandum political to back malo no watama mo be kere ngamoyle coalition kono mol wulitale ko Adama Barrow man fenne lo man secondato aman karanga fero tala amam fenne lo munat namba kila flag berati mo dol funtita nang ya safe why we must vote for Adama Barrow iko hani wulole fesi president Jammeh bare bi a jubebe men na dron e damangol tema sunyaro dron 600 million o tata covid coronavirus 500 million o filita 500 to 700 million fertilizer filita EU kodo filita America kodo filita 115 billion debt be filita OIC la $300 million a be filita a be keta Adama Barrow koto oto APRC babele mansa President Jammeh koto President Jammeh still the legitimate party leader chairman and flag bearer of APRC nyo sabate oto ya tambalem President Jammeh appointed as interim party leader and in chairman of the National Executive Committee nyo sabatala Gambia bimbe damen abe bata konom nene buka bata sifaje nyo so tala mbe mune batum kan albe diamola alko ha 2026 karibe Adama Barrow boyndela Adama party kilinta bondinola under the current circumstances things can change without nan ka caveat because ala e membara pro next minute ntemalo bare menketa kunung membe ka kan bi nkawle calculate nga jube nga falie ko in 2016 ning opposition o man nga ke kelente nga moton bo mayaldu ato seniata amantara bank kene sunyala aman kodo sunya man sakonda bulo amantara nakarola man sakonda kono ninga mo londe mayal ko atilinta Gambia doku ko bala mbe Adama Barrow boyndela clean and nga fenjama fonu jan 2017 2018 2019 2020 2021 wala be funti kannande amam boy handomande nakumo buka boy because den kamfa buka diamo nin konnante yabuka dum politique diamo kono wala politique Barrow kono hasidi yabuka dum politique Barrow kono mbuka mo noma mbuka dum wala private life ni momo ente fanan neng amari la hajolam ko saim fang men diatam fe wala ni momo nende rokere ko fo ayentumi mbuka mari reply fa mbuke la moy la audio la mo lulu be Gambia politico kono wala audio mbuka la moy la anymore since last year May 2023 mbuka la moy mo do la audio la at all 1 second of it mbuka la moy la nendi roka kente jambandolati ni ngama wato he Lamin Tamba la fentabulu aman fellong aman keteng akan kontane la isla jambando yes dunia be balo na Lamin Tamba be diamo kan bi akante jambandele akan tole futandi dulato an manya na futala dame so atole continue dron kan na dari jo kafu alala do ko la men lafitan na men lafa lafina wasalam life lebe o nyama bare mote Gambia politiko kono memba fola ko bi Lamin Tamba ka wulile aka wuliya fo aka diya la ay kuma do fo mote na ko mo boyla mansia sinya saba since 2017 la ngana post change because new information la nata na post change that was impasse wato nkame safeno ngabele change and then along the way I did two post information do nata fontina nga change but wonente fana ni mo la political fata Gambia kono nin new information of fontina nang kunu ngamen fo nin new information o walita ngaf alhaketu nyere kunu nganyine fo ba nyin information kutola fontina na and information koyolem woto alhaketu nyinem tonyate a change sides ni ngalon tonya be dame mboka foko hay mbe malula le ning ko sorry I will not change my position. No, I'm not worthlessly stubborn. I'm purposefully stubborn. Mansila mola. Jandi balon na jubale Lamin Tamba nan tara jang nin tuba bol ba biraka. Ha barente o ko diamala because sisi konsongo ngame sisi konsongo ngamen diamono jang sisi koso kai ngamen diamono jang mamparala muk mansila fedna mansila mola saya fango mansila because it's gonna happen. What's the point in thinking about it? More fata 10 years, 15 years, 30 years. So I'm gonna total for 40 years something double. So if I pack up anything any minute, I've done my best. Alkalafi sisi konkon like yine bembulu, fenne bembulu, tenne bembulu. Mbadi, KPMG Kamel Karande institution o katama nyameng as their mentorship, allyship, mentorship nyeng. KPMG la budget is 20 times bigger than Gambia la budget. 48 billion. I mentor their staff on how to administer an institution. Yajel nimanga masakunda doko bulanong Angleterre in about 2010. By now, Mafoko will be a CEO of a FTSE 500. But mbesuti ala nunje bake. But malafika sizo konkon. Ya mwele. Yo, melka na page to kana qualification on nyenenka. Yalong at all. Alman smart. When I was at the law school, I was traveling to Gambia to attend FAD festival, shooting across the world. Klaso, mkas men si klaso ko nabuka siya. Ning examo ko jang view. Mukatara ko mada. No, but atoli amira Lamin Tamba mo be more let no political that it be. But activism man that it be. Man fell non Gambia political to be honest with you. Until impasse wato. But I'm not a new person. Since Gambia College. No scholarship from a poor family in Yantambungoto. Nisa marketa for Akatondi. Poor family. No scholarships, nothing. No scholarship killing or drumming sort of from Gambia College. For coming out on top of all the schools in Gambia College. Your scholarship was Nakarim Bulujam, year 2001. Ya Sunyam Mkoto ye in the Gambia. At age 24, Nina postgraduate Besiri. With no, well, there's Marco Ro here and there. I'm not going to say Marco Ro today because I had guardians when I was going to high school. I had guardians when I was going to college. Ya mwele, sisi konsoma sisi kosoma kentetati. No. Bele kanyanta, but Gambia no tano be mo meya famaji because I can jelen kasinna tamo ke Gambia ni mol kasi ni mol ka kacha mam fanke menti mboka ndaba kunkungol fanke ha nin karite sila la keleng nin karite domoro kela mani bol killing. That's not me. Akala file mol mel kadiamo. you don't at all, yeah. I started work in the civil service, UK civil service in July 2004 after graduating from university. They gave me 9 months probation because Tobabo ya miracle ni button in Africa, despite my outstanding results, right? I came top of the whole class, Gambia College. Na record man said man set nung wanyama before with the GPA. All right? Cumulative grade point average. Honey be a record over Gambia College, School of Public Health. Nata, they still don't want to employ me. They were hesitating because Africa qualification only been below time. Okay, wait, then I'll soon finish my master's degree. Naba ngaita niga like we'll give you, instead of 3 months probation, 6 months probation, we'll give you 9 months probation. Within 3 months, they've confirmed my appointment straight away. Now, manager of the Environmental Protection Department, you're the only person that I've employed that didn't wake me up at night to ask me how to fulfill a function. You're the only person, and you're the most inexperienced person I've employed. Yamuel, but now landi karakirin. Lumbe sila nisima so that you'll know my biography a little bit. Qualification jamaatembolo. I've done on-the-job training. I've got 3.5 master's degrees because the other one is a diploma. All right. Na dia tanyine tonya nimfama mamfano in 2003 by 27 tendon na PhD with no assistance, no scholarships whatsoever. They can't do anything because I didn't sign up to any nonsense. You guys, you're just joking. If I didn't leave the civil service permanent position by 2010, maybe some of you wouldn't have known me because level of I cannot participate in politics anymore. At it all. Because the positions from now on, in fact, no position already, but I'm in an acting capacity. If I take it permanent, political be I'll not participate. That's the end of my political career. 2004, probation over 2005, I went from scale 6 to principal 1. By 2008, I was at principal 3. By 2009, I went to principal 4. 2010, when I was leaving, I was principal 5. And in local government pay scale, you just don't jump a grade every year. You go on spinal columns. You can't spinal column all letter, bit by bit, unless you got an outstanding qualification from somewhere, then you jump grades. That's how I jumped grades, performance on the job, and qualifications from elsewhere, specialism. Jump straight to principal 5 by 2010. Then I left acting normal. Acting had its benefits, loads of benefits, because I am foot and the dolalto and things I've done financially that I wouldn't have done if I was in acting. Then I came back to the civil service full time in July 2022. Straight picked up from where I left. But now landi karakilinna diamo nene manyan na kela purunte bolmen kan nende roke and questioning my qualifications nka wala jabi o nyaw. And integal jabi la kotek never. Mafoko Gambia civil service is not up there. But Tubabo la civil service ibuke nyato koti ibuke Tamba nyato if you don't have what it takes. I'm impossible. And UK la civil service is about 400 years or longer, older than Gambia civil service. Even the civil service time moment, I was manning the unit as a young boy from School of Public Health, graduated with a HND. I was manning the occupational health and safety unit. Nabos at the time who was leading the unit, Father BT had another project to go to. So imagine a boy in the late teens, early 20s, managing a unit, occupational health and safety unit. Anyway, Alamasima Ninja Kenya Sotola, but oppositional, the game, time, daylight is gone. So it's getting darker in here, and I need to go because I've been here for nearly 2 hours. No, 1 hour and 44 minutes. Ala baraka bake ninatala bi kana audio kuntu because molka complain na ko audio na jam fata bake buka download no because Gambia network is weak. So therefore mbal be tentula mbal jaila APRC babel mansa doko kana sile mbinamen doko la walam na students wing, we're going to revive it. Na student wings form nunjane in 2020. APRC nata fara demanding and dong mol ngamelpu in charge of the student wing waltata NPP Adama Barrow. Your national youth mobilizer nabe diamalale, we start putting plans in place. By the end of this year or early next year, we start the mass mobilization of people and resources. Benawala kela under the executive of Yaya Tamba and President Jame, purungana na APRC lande asingokang. Let's get ready for 2026. The ideal situation is APRC win clean with a very competent candidate, President Jammeh or Yaya Tamba or Karamo Damfa, Momo Emo Londirek, to win. But if we think the prospects of winning alone is not going to work, all of us opposition, ngamira bake fannene, kan kam fannene nga bula. Ha antolbe win la lenyinan, ngam fannene bula. Let's take the shortest route, the guaranteed route. Ko opposition obe nata nyokan nembe Adama Barrow boindila. Nga doko ke, nga Adama Barrow boindi, nga Gambia bondi bata ko nombe menkono. Mbal be danela. Fengo fen keta koma. Nga bula koma nga na nga nyato jube nga Gambia la nyato bay. Very important, very crucial. Mbal be danela, brothers and sisters. Gambia comes first for me. For MUDP, for MUDOLT, for GDC, for APRC, for PPP, for Jumalem, Mbalbe, Danela, National Unity Party, Gambia for All, add all the political parties. The time is now for an effort so Kenyokang, na Gambia Bondi Abe Batamen Kono. Mo malong bi Gambia la tulo be damen, mo malong buntumala Senegal ben na kurango kuntula, mo malong muntumala ben na kasuri trade sotola, mo malong muntumala tolbe security sotola Gambia koteng, muntumala na tourism be wuli la koteng, muntumala be backway boys all la kuol tala la Gambia, yala wotu mo ka fanya fo ne ko President Jammeh la dictatorship la ka mol bondi Gambia e kabore. Ya lonko immigration is a lifelong thing. And molkata hosolo drone la President Jammeh Martina bore Gambia bore ka fani ale fono bare bi nkade amale nyamen mol Gambia non men fata bakwe silokan wala siata President Jammeh la tamoti more than 10 times nyo sabate oto kote so monem Adama Barrow la dictatorship anala mo faale atina Gambia dingol be fakam bakwe silokan ba ala lebe Gambia nol karande kan na mo soto janne men yalon ko suto tili abe Gambia la ko mira kan abe Gambia la ko kela kan abe Africa dingo la ko kela kan ngo wa mare mam betia bi nga mo soto alko wolem demokratote Adama Barrow mo demokratote abe nyapi kan mansala na fulola abe nyapi kan mol kan abe dula afele be radio license tala ye radio station dol soronne ye daily observer ni media houses dol soronne wolem demokrasi te bi demokrasi mal ko boro mantara loptano to karam bon sirangon tabulo man soto fem fenne mantara soto en Gambia kono bi wolem demokrasi te ha mol be ñoo fala tare be ñoo fala lu wolo mole fata lu wolo ye kare le somuro la wala ya bunki dola drogo be de la beto dendingol be fala tare wolem demokrasi te fonte yo alaman tankala o manya si fala alaman be sola nyaton ko la me ko Gambia la kano bala Gambia la taman nyabeta lala a nganiyo bala afero bala asembo bala alondo bala ala baraka bake. Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I end this YouTube live today. Today is the 6th of August 2024 and it's a Tuesday. Thank you. Good night.